shit, Amy, that was really loud.
I was waiting for it.
So loud. What's up, guys? This is Comic Confidential, the weekly podcast where we bring you all the hot comic-related news, and we also break down the top 5 moments from all the DC and Marvel TV shows. I'm your host, Kade, and alongside me today is our very own Supergirl.
Hello.
It's Amy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
You're well?
I am well.
That's, I don't know, like, is that good? Is that bad?
It's
just
good
like,
grammar.
It's good grammar. Oh my God, Amy, you're such a nerd. Hey, guess what?
What?
We really didn't miss too much news from Comic-Con.
I know. I was so surprised. I was like, for sure something's coming out while we've been talking. Yeah. And then people will be like, oh, you fools.
Yeah, I jumped on Twitter because like if you listened to it last week, I was like, oh my God, Twitter's going crazy. There's all this shit going on. It wasn't much that really interested me.
It's just, you're so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just like, say, what's up, Kade?
I'm going to listen to you tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, you want to get into some news?
I sure do.
Supergirl's James, a.k.a. Jimmy Olsen, is to suit up as the Guardian.
Yeah.
And he actually looks really badass.
He does. Just the one photo that I've seen.
Yeah. He's got that awesome shield. I mean, this definitely has, like, this has to be a result of moving to the CW because the CW is all about their vigilantes. And he is just looking on point.
Yeah.
How he actually will fit into Supergirl is a bit weird because why do you need another like hero when you've got Superman and Supergirl going around?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really know. It's
Yeah.
cool,
It
but
is,
I don't know what he's doing.
It is cool, but I this is just CW's way of like making another team because they love their bloody teams over at CW.
Yeah, they do.
But to tell you the truth, I'm like a little disheartened by it because this should have been Diggle.
Yeah.
Because like Diggle's little Metallo helmet doesn't do it for me.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
He needed a full outfit.
He needs a full-on outfit, and it's very reminiscent of Steel, the character.
Yeah, right.
So that's the only reason that I think it might work on the Supergirl.
Yeah.
So
See how they go.
hashtag should have been Diggle.
You need to make these shirts.
Yeah,
they
I
need to
need to.
happen. What other news have we got? Oh, this second trailer for Rogue One has been released. Hot damn.
Oh, hot damn, man.
I'm so excited. And as I was saying earlier, I didn't realise it was coming out so soon.
Yeah, it's like right around the corner.
I know. I'm so used to seeing a snippet of a preview and being like, oh, I'm so excited. And then I have to wait a year.
Yeah.
Like, far out.
This is the way it should be done.
Yes.
Because this is the only movie that I've seen a trailer to a trailer. It
Like
was
an
weird.
introduction.
Yeah. And like they showed like 10 seconds like of this teaser trailer to a teaser. It was so weird. It was like so roundabout. But it worked out really well because the movie got the job done and the movie's only around the corner.
I know. Can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And I'm not the world's biggest Star Wars fan, right? It like the universe is it's pretty cool. I'll watch the movies, but I'm not like I'm a fucking diehard fan.
I don't know all the robots' names or
Yeah,
anything like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
you know,
right.
I just know the main cast. I don't know the history or anything like that. But this looks pretty cool because it's like this whole little side story. So new fans will have a better time jumping in on it, I think.
Yeah, they won't have to know all of the background, I guess.
Yeah.
Or they'll know the main things, I guess, like who Darth Vader is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, that's about it. So, but actually, talking about Star Wars, you know, some fans have actually launched a petition for the Old Republic to be turned into a Netflix series.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
They're getting a few signatures
it
too.
is getting some bloody traction. The goal is to get 35K.
What are they at?
Well, at time of recording or time that I saw the news, they actually had 26K. So this is
They're nearly there.
they're nearly there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen.
No.
But
I feel like Netflix has a lot on its plate too
does.
at the moment.
Every time I jump
so-
on Netflix, there seems to be like a new Netflix original series. And far out, how do they do it?
I don't know.
They just must have the world's biggest piggy bank and just throwing money at everything.
They must. So yeah, be interesting to see how it goes when
Yeah.
they get all those signatures.
Will you watch it?
I'll probably.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give
Yeah.
anything a go. But anyway, moving on. We've got some Marvel news. So Kevin Feige.
Fake.
Damn it. I even looked at you to like, did I say that right?
Yeah,
No, I
you got
didn't.
close.
Anyway, he says that Captain Marvel is the most powerful hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just drop that bomb.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, how do you perceive powerful? Like, is it physical strength like the Hulk?
Yeah.
Or is it, in my opinion, at the moment, you would think that Doctor Strange would probably be the most powerful person in the cinematic universe.
I would agree. Just all-rounder powerful.
Yeah.
Like, not just strength or whatever like that. So, there's a bit of shade thrown there.
Yeah, it is. So that's really going to be quite interesting to see how they portray that, because in my opinion, they're saying she will be the most physically powerful.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't really know how they would portray that. Like, this is the most physically powerful person.
She's going to arm wrestle the Hulk.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go down.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, that's what he said. That's what he's going with.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some Warner Brothers news. They have announced 2 Untitled event films for 2019 and 2020. So could we be seeing the Batman and Man of Steel 2 happening?
We could.
That is what my money's on.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anything else is really going to fit into that time slot that hasn't already been announced.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because I think the next movie is the Flash and Cyborg movie. We've got Wonder Woman getting released later this year.
Yep.
So
You might be right there.
something's happening there, that's for
Something's going
sure.
on. Sticking with the Warner Brothers news, Warner Bros. And DC Films have released the first images of Aquaman's wife, Mira.
Oh, damn.
I was waiting for it. So she's the wife of Aquaman and is the queen of Atlantis in Justice League. And she is fine.
She is on point.
Yeah, that outfit and that photo we were looking at earlier, holy crap.
Man, it's so awesome.
Yeah,
and
and
it is
she's
unreal.
Yeah, she's played by Amber Heard, who is Johnny Depp's estranged wife, and she's a good-looking lady.
She is a good-looking lady. Breaks all the laws when she comes to Australia. What a bloody dickhead.
A rebel, and I love it. But yeah, so that's been released, and I cannot wait to see her portray Mira in this film.
Yeah. And she is like really, really ruthless. She's brutal.
Yeah, she's on par with Aquaman and everyone else.
And, she's a redhead. She's going to be fiery, and I know redheads.
You do. Super fiery. Anyway, that's exciting.
That is exciting. You know what is not exciting?
What? Oh, tell me.
Marvel. They've come out and said they had no plans for Blade. No immediate plans.
No.
So, here I am, just got egg on my face. Thank you, Kate Blanchett, you bloody bee.
Kate Beckinsale.
Beckinsale, sorry.
It's all right. I got your back.
Thanks. But yeah, that's shit, because Blade would have been bloody perfect for Netflix,
It
really.
would have been. I would prefer to see Blade than a Star Wars spin-off.
Yeah.
If they're going to entertain a petition, I'm going to petition for Blade.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
When I was researching this, I actually saw someone made the comment that if they did Blade, they have to basically recognize the existence of vampires in the MCU.
Okay.
Which, it could be a bit of a hurdle to get over, because it's how do you explain this when everything else has gone on?
Yeah.
How have you not touched base with this at all?
We're so far into the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
They
How do
haven't
you
even
just
shown up?
But in saying that, they've just done Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And that's all in the same universe. So, everything can work. But, is it really that much of a stretch to think that there's vampires in the MCU? We've just been bloody introduced to Ghost Rider.
Oh, yeah, like spirits and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And we're getting Doctor Strange. So,
Yeah.
they're pretty mystical, I guess.
And people love vampires.
People do love vampires.
They dig vampire movies, anything vampire related.
Yeah.
So Netflix should do it. Netflix, if you're listening, do it.
Do it now. Now, this is our final point of news, and it is...
Your favourite point.
It's like the comic gods have just shone down on me and enlightened me with this absolute beautiful thing.
A gem.
It is a gem. The Justice League is going to meet the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Could there be anything better?
No, they can't.
No is the answer to that.
This is I foreshadowed this last episode, because I said that the Power Rangers trailer looked very DC-like.
You did, yeah.
So,
are you psychic?
I'm going to give it a go. I think I might be. But basically, DC Entertainment and Boom Studios have announced that they're teaming up to just produce a little mini series of 6 comics. And
Damn.
I don't really read a lot of comics. Like
You'll
I said,
read this one.
I'm buying. I'm going out to a comic book store and I'm buying the hard copy of this.
Yep.
I'm going to see that.
Keep it on your wall. Like
Yeah.
just pin it up somewhere.
Yeah, I'll buy like some little picture frames and just put each one in there.
Just your family photos come off the wall and your comic books go up.
And anytime I'm in need, I'll just rest up against the wall and just speak to the comic and it'll help me out.
I've had a really bad day.
Yeah,
Thanks
well-
for listening.
Superman, Red Ranger, what do I do here?
Oh, well, Kade, you know, just take our advice.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
But yeah, that is really cool.
It is. That is the coolest point of news that we have.
That is. And that's going to bring us to the weekly wrap, the segment where we wrap up the top moments from all the week's TV shows, which is actually in basically full effect right now, apart from The Walking Dead, which comes back in a week or two.
Yeah.
But we do have a pretty good fill-in.
Yeah.
It's Luke Cage, and we're covering episodes 4 to 8. It's like just if you haven't seen this, spoiler alert, just skip forward. There'll be some time notes. We're looking after you now.
Yep.
So basically, top moment number 1: do not mess with Mr. Cage. Luke Cage finally decides that he needs to step up and help the people of Harlem.
Yeah, he does.
He's busting heads. He's cashing checks. Well, actually, he's not cashing checks because he's
No.
not for hire.
No, yeah, well, that's right. He keeps saying that. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Just bloody do it.
yeah, do it.
Why are you playing me like this, Luke Cage?
I know.
Just do it.
And the residents of Harlem are like, yeah, we love you, Luke Cage. And he's like, no, that's not me. But then he's like, yeah, okay, that is me. He sort of decides,
Yeah. It's
I'm
like,
going to do
I'm
this.
stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
These people need the mediocre hero, and here I am.
Here's me ready to fill the spot.
Yeah. So like we said, he's out saving. Well, he's not saving the residents. He's kind of like getting their shit back after Cottonmouth goes like A-grade asshole.
Oh, yeah.
After Luke Cage took all this shit, he's just like out there being. And this feels like it's a really amateur move for a gangster.
Yeah, I thought that too. Like,
And I think Shades actually calls him out on it. It's like, dude.
you need to drop this.
Yeah, like, why are you stealing people's shit?
Yeah, and I think he even says, just sell the club.
Yeah.
You'll make half your money back.
Well,
Sell the club.
No, I don't think it was him that said that. I think that might have been his cousin.
Oh, yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Sorry.
And, man, that is a smart move.
Yeah.
Real estate in New York is quite expensive. You're going to make a mint on that, mate.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could just set yourself up, move out to the burbs and
Yep.
just live your life.
He's too proud, though.
He is too proud.
He wasn't
He's
going to
got
let
an
Luke
ego.
win.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Top moment number 2. Backstories for days and powers to boot.
Powers to boot.
Damn, we learnt so many backstories in these couple of episodes.
Oh, man, the flashbacks were like taking me back to Arrow.
Yeah, I know. So speaking of flashbacks, we got to see more of Luke Cage in prison and how he interacted with Shades. And what's the other crony's name in the prison? I can't remember.
Comanche.
Comanche.
Yeah.
Yep. So we saw those guys beating on him.
Beating on him big time. But,
yeah.
what is up with Luke Cage's hair here?
Oh, no. I forgot about that.
It's just like, I know girls get the girls, right?
Well, it did for him. I
It
guess.
did for him. Yeah, exactly. But, man, this guy has got like some Afro Man stuff going on
Yeah.
here. And he like got an Afro beard, just going like full on homeless
He
look.
sort of starts out, super homeless, and then as the episodes progress, he gets more refined.
Yeah.
Just shaves a little bit here and there. Every episode.
It's such a weird look.
Mm.
Like you wouldn't think a man with that much hair would actually shave it.
I know, and it's so squeaky clean shaved.
Yeah.
Like, to the head, to the bald, like just baldness overload.
Yeah, he does a great job.
He does. Anyway, so yeah, in these flashbacks, we also learn about how he developed his powers. Or developed, I say, but his powers were forced on him.
Yeah, forced on him. That is actually really interesting. What I loved is like he gets the throwback to like his original little wrist cuffs. He got the little metal tiara.
Oh yeah.
And he even runs around like and grabs a yellow.
He looks so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Oh,
He had the
God.
chain belt. It was a really good like throwback. But
it was.
when you see it, you're just like, oh god damn, it
What
doesn't
are you
work.
doing? And surely there would have been a better option of clothing, just anything
Anywhere.
other than that.
Yeah.
But so in these flashbacks, we also see Luke develop a bit of a relationship with Reva.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and he also has a friend in jail I can't remember his name. Little fat man.
Little fat man who teaches him how to fight.
Yeah, essentially. And dies all within like 2 episodes, I guess. But
I guess that's probably why you don't remember his name. He
Yeah.
really wasn't on screen long enough, but he basically was teaching Luke how to fight, how to look after himself. I thought this guy was just full of shit.
Me too.
It didn't come across like he knew what he was doing.
No
in
way.
the sense like, oh yeah, I'll teach you how to fight. It's like, mate, you just want to come along for a ride.
you're just watching kung fu movies and yelling out
Yeah.
directions. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, in keeping with the backstories, we're moving on from the jail time blues, I guess. We see Claire resurface.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's back in town.
We learn a little bit more about what's been happening with her in sort of a Daredevil side story.
Yeah. So basically, what happened in Daredevil was the hospital got attacked by all the like immortal ninjas.
Yeah, crazy bastards.
Super crazy, and the hospital wants to cover it up. She didn't want any part of that, and she essentially gets sacked,
And,
loses her job.
Yeah, forced to pretty much work in Harlem.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only place she has to go home.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's really unique. Like, I've never been to New York, but it's really interesting to see like how different each section of the city is.
Yeah, it's almost like another country.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
how it feels to me. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's kind of like, oh, well, you know what? I'm not really welcome here in Hell's Kitchen. I'm going to go to Harlem, and it's kind of like you disappear off the map forever.
Yeah, whereas here it's like you can walk to another suburb.
Yeah, pretty much.
But so heaps of backstories and power development, man.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, they'll take us to top moment number 3, the ultimate death of Scarf.
Dirty cop.
Dirty cop, man. This guy had it going on.
He did. He had his finger in so many pies.
He did, and he was really on top of it, and he played it off really well. That his partner, was it 10 years or something?
Ages.
Yeah, she had no idea, and he lived a basic bitch life.
He did. Just a shitty apartment.
Shitty furniture, shitty everything.
Yeah, it almost felt like he wasn't there. I guess maybe if you're doing so many things, you're not home much. But if you had like that much money, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. He's probably, he probably has like a really good beach house somewhere.
Yeah, it just goes for little escapes.
Yeah, that's it. Like he probably has like a big apartment in like Manhattan somewhere.
He's just slumming it for now.
Slumming it for now. That's it. But
Yeah.
this was also, I feel like, a real amateur move from Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
And how we got off from this, I still don't understand.
Yeah, well, because he shot Scarf.
He shot him with
Cop.
his gun.
Yeah, exactly. And then his Cottonmouth's cronies made off with the gun shipment that Scarf was meant to give to Cottonmouth, I guess. They were seized in the Fort Knox thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and I think even his cousin says to him, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
Or Shade, someone
Yeah,
says
Shade
to him.
says to him, "You're cracking."
And
You're-
Cottonmouth was just so confident that he's like, "Nah, man, nothing can touch me."
Yeah, that is like, man, come on, you need to get your shit together here,
I
Cottonmouth. Well, with the dirty cop getting shot, he actually goes to Luke Cage's, I guess, is it his hideout, his hangout now?
The barbershop,
The
but
barbershop?
not anymore. Yeah.
So he goes there. It seems like it's the only safe haven that he has. So that's interesting. It's almost like this cop knew that Luke Cage was clean.
Yeah, and it's kind of not really tied together well, but maybe it's the fact that he knew Cottonmouth would be after him, and he
Yeah.
knew that Luke Cage had beef with Cottonmouth. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, lesser of two evils.
Very convenient also that Claire is also here.
I know,
It's like,
and able to stitch him up.
Yeah, it's
But-
just like, come on, man.
Yeah, she couldn't have been introduced at a better time. And I feel like throughout the episodes, she constantly was doing that. Like, oh, someone's shot, I better get the bullet out, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. This is where Luke Cage is starting to fall down. It's getting a little bit too convenient. Like, people are just showing up at the right times.
When they're needed.
Yeah, so this is where, you can see the difference between Luke Cage and Daredevil. Like, the writing here, I don't know if they had the same writers or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it's starting to show that there is obviously a clear difference in, I guess, quality.
Yeah.
Not to say that Luke Cage is actually fallen on its ass or
Oh,
anything,
no,
but,
no.
it's still really, really good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the cop dies.
Yeah, and he did have a notebook filled with evidence against Cottonmouth.
Yeah, and
That, like you were saying, we don't really understand how that didn't stick.
yeah, exactly.
Like, what the hell?
Maybe we missed something watching that. If
Well-
someone can let us know if we did.
Yeah, like, surely if they had that book and then Scarf's testimony, there would be nothing that would stop him from staying in prison, I guess. But he was out, got out.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the police station very long.
No, not at all. That's it. It's
Yeah.
like he was almost in there long enough for the press to show up
Yeah,
to
they
catch
were
him
like
on the way
just
out.
pulling up, getting their cameras out.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Mm.
In saying that, when Misty Knight now has lost her partner and she's
Yep.
starting to like kind of crack.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's under investigation. How did you not know that your partner was dirty for so many years?
Mm-hmm. Were you dirty too?
Yeah, were
I
you
guess?
dirty? And it's got all the other cops on edge now.
Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of other dirty cops too, I guess. So they're feeling the
was.
pressure.
They are feeling the pressure. And we do learn about that later on. So we'll save that.
Yeah, we will. All right. Top moment number 4 and my favourite moment, the death of Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
Yes.
boy.
I know. That's what you get for trying to beat the system, son. He should have just gone to jail or sold his club and left.
And you know what? This death is almost fitting for this guy because he's
Yeah.
a shit bloke. He get a shit death.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So he's brutally murdered by his cousin Mariah, who snaps, I
Who
guess.
snaps? Yeah.
Pushes him out a window and smashes his face in with a microphone stand or something like that.
Yeah. And what's an interesting point to make is that we haven't actually covered is that Mariah is kind of groomed by Shades.
Yeah, and I guess another thing I didn't mention in the backstory section, we learn a lot of backstory about her and Cottonmouth in these episodes.
Yeah, actually, he had a pretty promising career, what looked like to be a piano,
Yeah,
musician.
And I guess that's what his ties to the club are and why he wants to keep it so bad. But yeah, so we learn a little bit about her, Mariah, and how her past shaped her to be where she is.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that we actually learned in those flashbacks is that family is very important. So this is like breaking all their rules that you don't kill family.
That's right. And I guess we saw them kill a family member and their uncle, but he had turned on them and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
treated them
that's
like
right.
shit. Whereas Cottonmouth hadn't really done anything except say, they both got a little bit heated.
Yeah.
And then she just killed him.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. And she actually like looks at the photo. I think they just call her Mama.
Yeah, what's her name? Mabel. Mama Mabel.
Mama Mabel.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, no, I'm not turning into you. And kind of like slams her photo
She's
down.
taken a different path. And I guess, like you were saying, with Shades sort of grooming her, I don't really know where it's going. I feel like it might be worse than Cottonmouth.
Yeah. Well, she seems to have a streak in her now.
She's
It's kind of
bad.
like, I've done this. Why stop?
Yeah, I know. And I guess in saying that she killed Cottonmouth and they're trying to frame it on Luke again.
Yes.
Poor bloke.
Man, this guy cannot catch a
I
break,
know,
can he?
not at all.
So this will actually take us to top moment number 5. Diamondback is revealed.
Yes.
So yeah, we finally learn who Diamondback is. And shock horror, it's Luke Cage's half-brother, step-brother.
Some brother.
Yeah,
Something.
brother from another mother.
Who knows? Anyway, his name is Willis, I guess.
Oh man, did you catch like the Shay's throwing in what you're talking about, Willis?
Yep,
Line?
yep.
And Diamondback's like, you
It's
really
not funny.
you making jokes? Is this the time for jokes?
Yeah. So we know who he is now.
Yeah, we do. And he has it like this. He has a gun that can actually hurt Luke Cage.
I know.
And holy shit, that actually... when I saw that episode, I was like, I don't care what the time is, we're watching another one.
Yeah, I know. And I watched these all in succession, I guess, really quickly, and I could not press next quick enough. I was like, what's happening?
Oh, because it's just, holy shit, what just happened there?
I know. And because we sort of saw this gun or the prototype of this gun in a couple of episodes
This
before.
was I think these were the guns that got stopped in the shipment.
Ah, okay.
In the deal that kind of went south.
Right.
So basically, these guns have, I think they have alien metal in them.
Ah.
So that's why they can pierce his skin.
Get through his skin.
Yeah.
Right.
And not only that, once they're in the skin, they kind of
Explode.
explode. So
Yeah.
like shrapnel just goes all throughout him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. We also learned that Luke's probably wasn't the best of friends with Willis.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we probably didn't cover too well was that they actually had a backstory together.
Yeah, so many. Like I said, so many backstories.
Like you said, backstories for days.
For days. But yeah.
So, did we actually get explained why Luke wasn't that good of a friend?
No, I think Willis just said, you left me in the gutter or something like that. You pushed me to the side. And I didn't really get his really like thriving need for vengeance.
Yeah.
When we don't really know what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you're kind of wondering, it's like, why have you got so much beef?
And he's ruined Luke Cage's life
Yeah,
for
exactly.
years.
That's it. So it's like, where do you draw the line of like, okay, we're even?
And I think he even says, he just knocks Misty out instead of killing her because, Luke likes you and I like to see him suffer.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, this guy is like, he is just a next level kind of, I guess, crazy, psychotic bad guy.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of isn't what I was expecting Diamondback to be.
Yeah, he's almost too erratic and too crazy to almost be the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah, and I mean, Shades reports to him
Yeah,
and all this stuff. So
where Shades is like very level-headed. He's very calculated in everything he does, whereas Diamondback is just like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And he will kill anyone.
like just chasing you through the street. Like,
Plain as day, out there with fucking this gun, shoots him a couple of times. It's just like, come on.
yeah.
Like, where's the logic in this?
I know. So that didn't really mesh well with me. But maybe he'll get explained a little bit later.
Maybe he will. It's going to be an interesting way to. Hopefully, this guy levels out because he's just kind of all over the place and a bit erratic.
Yeah.
And I find it very hard to believe that this is the boss man with all the money and all the resources.
Yeah, that's right. And he's by himself too. Speaking of that, like he's got so many resources. If he really wanted Luke Cage dead, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
Killing Luke Cage isn't easy, but it's just him going
Yeah,
up
that's
against
right.
Luke. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but that'll bring us to top moment number 5 and the last one we've got, which is the almighty cliffhanger.
Oh.
So carrying on from the battle between Diamondback and Luke, we see the finishing scene of episode 8 is Luke being shot again by Diamondback with one of his fancy bullets.
Super bullets.
Alien bullets, whatever we want to call them. And Luke Cage ultimately passing out and falling into the back of a trash dump truck.
Garbage truck. There you go, kiddo.
Thanks. So, yeah, we don't really know what's happening.
No. Will he die? Will he live?
He has to live, right? Like, I mean, how many episodes are left? No, at least 4.
At least 4.
He needs to be in at least one of them.
So, yeah, I will cover the rest of those. Do you want to do like a little summary, quick wrap up? What do you think? What do you rate?
Yeah, these 4 episodes I really enjoyed. We did 4? Yeah, 4. Purely because of that backstory element.
Yep.
I think we learnt, in the first 4 episodes, we learned a lot about sort of current day in terms of Luke Cage and his presence in the community.
Yep.
These episodes were more of a backstory and giving you a little bit more about how the present day came to be. And I really enjoyed that. Cottonmouth died. That was probably the highlight, but scary because now we don't know who's going to be in charge.
Yeah.
So, are we going to do a rating?
Yeah, give it a rating.
I'm going to do a 4. A 4.
Yeah.
Solid 4 for me.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. 4, like you said, we've lost Cottonmouth. That's great. He was good to watch.
Yeah,
but
he was entertaining.
He was entertaining. Now we've got Diamondback, who just seems to be on another level. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they play off that. Especially with his cousin now turning into this mob boss.
Yeah.
That's going to play off really, really well, I think. But yeah, it just loses a point for the convenience that it's just TV conveniences.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. That suits it pretty well. That will take us to Supergirl, which was its season premiere. Which was
good.
bloody good. So, top moment number 1 from Supergirl is the pod has landed. Hello, Mon-El.
Hello.
So, he's actually still seems to be knocked out.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything at all this episode. But for those who don't know who Mon-El is, his powers are very similar to what the Kryptonians are. But he has different weaknesses. So instead of being weakened by kryptonite, he's actually weakened by lead.
Yeah.
We actually covered this in another episode. But apparently he is going to be written in a way that it's very hard for him to transition into American life.
Yeah, sort of fit in with everyone.
Because it seems like, well, he's grown up. He's an adult.
Yep.
So he's lived his previous life on a previous planet. Now he's coming to a new planet to learn how to live here. So I can see a lot of tension with this character and perhaps him getting turned into the season villain because of it.
Yeah, I sort of got that feeling as well because I guess Kara and Clark came to Earth when they were kids. So they sort of picked up Earth's traits along the way, whereas this guy's very set in, Kryptonian ways or whatever ways. But yeah, so I think there'll be definitely something's going to happen between him and Supergirl and Superman.
Yeah.
So, but while we're on this point, I might just add, because I didn't watch all of the first season in depth, I guess. I just sort of went
Lucky
through.
you.
Went through and watched the major points and sort of read up and all that kind of stuff. And I still found it super easy to slot in to this episode. Like, I didn't need to refresh on anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought that was a big props to the writers. Because,
yeah.
it was
Definitely.
great.
It was really, really good. You just jump in and you're kind of like, okay,
I know what's
I know
happening.
what's going on. She's
Yep.
Supergirl. That's Superman.
That's right. Speaking of Superman, top moment number 2, Superman has arrived.
Oh.
Holy damn.
Hot damn.
I could not wait for this. And he actually is such a big throwback to Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I was surprised. But
He's like kind of like saying like gee willikers and
yeah, golly gosh.
golly
all
gosh,
that
stuff
kind of
like
stuff.
that.
But one thing I found really interesting is he has a major beef with Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
Because they're storing kryptonite at the base.
What is really interesting about that is that they actually have met.
Yeah, they already know each other. Yeah.
Which I would not have thought. The way that Martian Manhunter has this like veil of secrecy about him.
So that was an interesting one. And probably the major point of this episode in terms of Superman's story is he's going to stick around. Like, he helped Kara out in this episode and he's going to stick around and help her out in some more.
Yeah, from what I took from this, he's sticking around to almost find out what happened to Kara's dad.
Yeah, and it's very interesting, I guess, because, he's got Lois Lane obviously back home, calling him, talking to him. So, I don't know, maybe he just wants a little bit more, something to spice up the life.
Maybe, but I honestly think there's going to be more of a story between Kara's dad and Superman. There has to be something there. And I really think a lot of it might involve John Jones, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, okay. So he's hiding something else.
He's hiding something else. So who knows? Because this Martian Manhunter has really been... He's actually a favourite character of mine in this show.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see that he's really secretive. So...
Who knows?
Who knows? It'll pay off to something great, I have no doubt.
Yeah, surely.
So anyway, that takes me to top moment number 3. We meet Lana Luthor.
Lena
Luthor? Is it Lena?
Yeah, I think so.
Someone let us know. I could go back and just rewatch the episode. But anyway, she is the sister to Lex Luthor, and she's really trying to make a name for herself outside of the Luthor name.
Yeah, I really love that.
That's
I was
good.
like, yes, girl, get it. Like,
Yeah, you go, girl.
Yeah. But we see her sort of get attacked for that, though.
Yeah,
She's not really a favourite with the Luthor family.
No,
so.
we actually see Lex, who's, newsflash, is currently locked up in jail. So he puts a hit on her.
Yeah,
So
tries to get her out of the picture.
Get her out of the picture, get her gone. She wants to change Luthor Corp to L Corp, which
yeah.
is whatever. I like Luthor Corp. That's a great name.
I guess she's trying to move away from the bad juju that's come from Lex.
Pretty much. And basically, we see a pretty big showdown. Real lack of security going on here.
Yeah, she's always by herself.
Yeah, like a woman that is that powerful, that rich, that influential needs some security.
That's right. And not like Supergirl can't be there to be her full-time security.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously if they tried to kill her once, they're going to try it again.
Yeah, true. What's interesting here, Amy, you're an engineer.
I am.
Is it possible to take down a building by taking out one column? Is there not safe
you know what? That was so annoying. And I watched this episode and I was like, this is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Purely because you could take down a whole building by taking out a column, but it would collapse on itself. You wouldn't be able to hold it upright and then just go and fix the beam like, voila, magic. No, it doesn't work like that.
Those beams, they're just like standard beams.
Yeah, just some steel welded together with their eyeballs. But
would that work? No, I didn't
that building
think so.
would have come down.
Yeah, I thought so.
But anyway, that was a peeve. I was like, damn it, I'm going to talk to Kate about this because it's annoying. But anyway, top moment number 4, Supergirl becomes a reporter. So she decides on her career, I guess.
Yeah.
Finally.
She's been put on the spot by Kat Grant. Says, you've got 24 hours to let me know what you want to do. Otherwise, you're done.
Yeah,
mate.
what are you doing with your life sort of thing. And I really like that from Kat Grant because it gave her a kick up the bum. Like, come on, you're not just Supergirl. You know, like you have a life. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, Kat Grant doesn't know she's Supergirl, all that kind of stuff. But she was just so stuck in a rut. I guess, Kara was. And now she's got some direction.
Yeah, and the career that she decides to take is like, I think it's as cliche as it can really get. But I mean, it is Supergirl, and it's known for being stupidly cliche.
Yes.
And she decides to become a reporter.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can see why they've done it because it's actually quite clever.
Yes.
You know, she can get closer to the action where Supergirl couldn't.
That's right. So she can be Kara while the action is occurring and still be super close to things like you were saying.
Yeah. So, you know, she could go into, say, board meetings, stuff like that. As a reporter, find out the information that Supergirl definitely could not get into.
I mean,
Supergirl cannot just fly in there and sit there.
And say, hey, tell me what you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. So I thought that was actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and sort of branching off from that, Kara decides that she's taking her life into her own hands, becoming a reporter, all that kind of stuff. She also decides that she doesn't want to date Jimmy anymore.
Oh, man.
That was like a throw a stone in the works.
That
I was like, she was so obsessed with him for so long. And I'm like, well, things change, I guess, but not that quickly.
Yeah, not that quickly. And I actually thought she was going to him to say, hey, let's go on that date.
That's right. That's what I thought too. And then she sort of walked away and I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
But, oh
and
well.
there was something said by Jimmy earlier in the episode. It felt like it was a really dick move and quite immature by the character.
Yeah.
It's like he complained basically that, oh, you're too busy being Supergirl. It's like, you're a fuckhead.
Yeah, she is Supergirl. What do you expect?
Yeah, what do you mean you have to go save that fucking plane falling out of the sky? Can't we just hang out?
Yeah, can't we just eat pizza?
Yeah. That was just like really poor writing, in my opinion. Like, out of a really great episode, that there was just like, really, guys?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing?
You had to have that little dig.
Yeah, it's just really unnecessary. Well, anyway, that takes me to my the top moment number 5.
Yep.
Cadmus Labs are the big bad of the season.
Yeah. It's already introduced, episode 1.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. That is really, really good. So the best way to basically think of Cadmus Labs is like they're the evil version of Star Labs.
The alter ego.
Yeah, the alter ego,
Yeah.
the Jekyll and Hyde. So they make weapons to take down superheroes rather than try to help them.
Yeah, to assist them, I guess.
Yeah, basically. And what we see here is that they are actually making Metallo,
Yeah.
one of Superman's greatest enemies.
Yep.
So this is why he will be sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
They're going to bring that story to a head.
They are. And what is going to be really interesting about this is that Martian Manhunter said earlier in the episode that no one else has kryptonite.
Yeah.
No one can get access to it. And that's the beef that Superman has with him. So Metallo runs off kryptonite.
He's going to get it.
Oh, man.
And you know what? That's going to cause even more tension.
It is. He's going to, like, that's just going to spill over, or they're going to become buddies through it.
Bond over a mutual enemy.
Basically, what I can see happening is Martian Manhunter coming and saving Kara and Superman.
Yeah.
Because he ain't affected by that shit.
No. But I guess it is sort of I mean, I can understand why you would want to keep kryptonite, but Superman made a good point. Martian Manhunter won't be in charge forever, and that kryptonite is literally, it could kill Superman and Supergirl. Like, it's just an accident waiting to happen, which obviously does happen because we know Metallo is coming. So
Yeah, that's right.
Well.
So what do you rate the season opener?
Look, I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
Stick with my 4s. I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it was written really well in the sense that I didn't have to do a lot of studying up on anything. Like, I'd watched the first season really quickly in terms of not watching every single detail, but I could still slot in, and I really liked that. So 4.
Okay. I'm going to give a 4.5. I'm going to just better you. And it only gets this extra half point because when they were doing the big fight, not the big fight, the big like action scene in this episode where they're, holding the building up and all that. You see a young family running away. We're moving back to Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just because of that little throwaway.
That was cute. I like that.
Yeah, so that's what it gets, 4.5 from me. And that'll actually take us to Gotham.
Yeah, speak of the devil. So, top moment number 1 for Gotham this week is Jim Gordon sort of sorting his shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's struggling with the effects of being hypnotized by the Mad Hatter. It's still sort of affecting his life, stepping out in front of buses or trucks still.
Yeah.
But whatever. He seems to have this underlying will to still of himself, like we're talking about. And he sort of overcomes that at the end of it, which was a bit of a cliche to me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Gotham. It's the biggest cliche show that you can really get, because he basically, what kind of cures him is that he learns that he doesn't want to be with Lee anymore.
That's right. He sort of gives up on her almost in one episode. Like
one episode, done and dusted. It's kind of like, all right, I know Lee is with someone else.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah. It was painful.
It was painful, but like, mark my words. Episode 37, someone quote this. Jim Gordon and Lee will get back together by the end of the episode.
They will.
Because her her fiance is a Falcone, and she'll
have to get out of it eventually.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. But yeah, so anyway, Jim basically cures himself of the Mad Hatter's hypnotism and saves the day.
Saves the day. Top moment number 2 is Penguin becomes mayor. Now, this is unexpected.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was actually going to happen this quickly. I
Neither
would have thought
did I.
that this might have been dragged out. But I'm not complaining, because Gotham does have this issue of having too many stories going on at the same time.
Yep.
So the fact that they're kind of wrapping up these little side stories quite quickly is good. But basically what happens here is that Nigma was kind of doing a bit of a runaround on the Penguin gang.
Yeah.
Because they actually paid off like supporters to vote for the Penguin.
That's
and
right.
he's basically gone around and grabbed all the money back and says, vote for who you want. And the reason for this is that he wanted Penguin to see that he could win the people of Gotham over.
He didn't
that
need to
love
pay
him.
them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. He had their
exactly.
support, sort of thing.
And Butch, he just loses his mind about
Yeah,
this.
he
He's like,
hates
what?
it.
Basically, it's like, what the F have you done here, mate?
And well, it paid off.
And it paid off. Like, luckily, I guess
It would have gone bad if it didn't.
yeah, exactly. But because of the confidence that Nigma had in Penguin, it really, I guess, shines a positive light on him, and he actually becomes like his second in command.
Yeah, he takes over from Butch.
Yeah.
Which Butch doesn't like one bit.
Not at all. And the Penguin's kind of like, Butch, you're done.
Yeah,
but hang
see
around,
ya.
I still need you to bust heads.
Yep, that's right. And I guess on that note of the Penguin, he's looking very dapper these last
Yeah.
couple of episodes. He's really like spruced up, and
He's looking
not
looking
as slimy.
fly. Yes,
Yeah, not as
that's
slimy.
it.
That's probably a good one. Anyway, I thought I'd drop that
That's
in there.
that's weird. You wouldn't think of a politician not being slimy.
Yeah, he becomes a politician and gets less slimy.
Yeah,
But
go figure.
yeah, it's an interesting one. All right, so top moment number 3, Double Bruce.
Oh, fuck Double Bruce.
So we see a bit more of Bruce's doppelganger. What was his name? 5?
2. Was it 2?
I don't know.
No,
Some number. But anyway, so Double Bruce, we'll call him. He has the hots a little bit for Selena Kyle.
Yeah, so what they did last episode, like you see them driving
That's right.
away
In Alfred's car.
in Alfred's Rolls Royce, and we thought there might have been like a malicious thing to this, and
yeah.
it's not.
No,
It's
he
not.
just likes her. He even kisses her.
Yes,
He really likes her.
he likes her a lot,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
that actually kind of like fires up brings up a fire in Bruce.
Yeah, I
like,
mean, how
original
old-
Bruce.
Yeah, number 1 Bruce.
Yeah,
But how old are these kids, honestly?
I think they're like 12.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's
They're
kinda-
not really that jealous.
No, it's kind of like that was my toy.
Yeah, give it back.
Yeah.
I wanted that. But anyway, so Double Bruce saves Selena and then wears on, and he has an encounter with original Bruce and decides he's going to leave things alone. He's just
Yeah.
going to leave.
Yeah, that was really interesting. He's kind of like, all right, look, I'm not you. I'm not going to be you. I'm going to just
Go.
on
Yeah.
my way. But he kind of gets caught up with the Court of Owls, who says,
Yeah.
do you want to be Bruce? You can.
Yeah.
It's like, he just came to terms with not being Bruce.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Why-
we
yeah.
almost saw the end of Double Bruce.
Yeah, I was like, oh my fucking God, just let the prick go.
I know. And obviously the Court of Owls have something malicious up their sleeve because they're like, we've been waiting a long time for you.
Yes, exactly. So they obviously know he's got these like little abilities, I guess.
Yeah, like really good at fighting, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
can't feel pain.
Yep, that's it. You know, this would have been a really good way to do the Azrael character later on.
Yeah.
It's a shame they just kind of threw that in way too early, way too quickly.
Yep. Yep.
And that's Gotham's
Yeah, I was
problem.
going to say the theme of Gotham, really.
That's it. I really hope they do not continue this love story between Bruce.
12-year-olds.
12-year-olds, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, who gives a shit?
No
Not
one.
me.
And we have enough bullshit with bloody Jim Gordon and his girls.
Yeah. Hey, talking about like weird love stories.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Top moment. I don't believe it's a top moment.
It's
but
a moment.
It's a moment. Number 4, Alice dies and the Mad Hatter escapes. So We kind of find out in this episode that the Mad Hatter actually had the hots for his sister.
Yeah, wrong town.
Yeah,
wrong
man.
town.
That is just straight up gross. And that's why she was running away.
Yeah, she didn't want to borrow that.
Yeah, she basically what happens, he gets two Goonies, Tweedledee and Tweedledum,
Yeah.
which was fantastic.
Loved
Holy
it.
crap, man. This is like just the best throwback to Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. Great theme, actually. But, and he actually kidnaps her and dresses her up like Alice. And I was
Yeah.
just like, nah,
Too much.
too much.
Too much.
You're a sick bloke, mate.
Yeah, he is really sick, actually. And I guess it sort of doesn't go in his favour because Alice dies.
Yeah.
She gets so scared of him that she falls off the balcony and dies.
Yeah, and this kind of shits on our theory about the fact that she would be turning people into
Yeah.
like metahumans.
Yeah.
So it was her blood that was poison.
That's right.
We couldn't quite figure
Didn't
it
really
out
understand.
Yeah,
But it sort of, shot our theory to shit, really.
it did. And this obviously is not the way that Poison Ivy will be getting her powers.
No. So something else is going to happen there.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Unless they collect her blood
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was an integral key to Indian Hill.
Maybe.
Like her-
Creating the... Yeah, that's a good one. Because I think she was saying that her poison or the infection,
Yeah.
whatever, affects people differently.
Yes.
So maybe on a scale it kills people, like the bottom end of the
Yeah.
scale, and the top end is she creates people with superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. So there could be like vials of her blood floating around Gotham somewhere.
Well, Lee has vials of it.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she was taking blood.
Yes.
So-
That's how it's going to happen.
Maybe something happens there. Speaking of her blood, that's going to bring us to top moment number 5, which is Captain Barnes gets infected? ?
Yeah.
So he sort of stands under the dead body of Alice and gets some of her blood on him.
Now, yeah, that's going to be really interesting because you see it kind of gets into his eye.
Yeah, and into his system.
Into
because-
his system, yeah. And he kind of goes all veiny looking.
Yeah, and sort of bends over in pain and all the veins show up, but then they go away.
Yeah.
So is he going to have superpowers now?
Maybe he
Who
might be
knows?
turning into a villain. He's a really great character.
Yeah, could be a villain actually. We did see a bit of a darker side to him this episode in terms of him. Well, I guess he doesn't really ever get along with Jim.
No.
But he was like, don't go there, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe.
Meanwhile, Harvey is like just like handing out guns to him like willy-nilly. It's like, mate, this is a bounty hunter. He is not a cop. You can't just give him a police-issued gun.
That's right. And I guess it maybe we'll come back to the thing we've slowly been talking about Jim needs to get back into the police force somehow.
And I think this will be the way it happens. This is how he's going to become commissioner.
Yeah. So this Captain Barnes or whatever is going to do something real shit.
Yep.
And Jim's going to have to step in.
And he's going to turn into a villain, and this is how it will all happen.
Yes, yes.
Mark my words.
All right. Well, so that's our top 5 moments, but I'm going to throw a little Easter egg in there
Okay.
because Fish Mooney wasn't in this episode either.
Oh, man, that gets another half point.
Yeah, I'm adding that to mine. So speaking of points, what do you rate it?
This episode was good. I'm going to give it 4. It was... It's good, like some stories are starting to wrap up.
Yeah.
I really, really, really wish they just let like little Bruce go.
Yeah. Just let him go.
Just let him go. No one wants him here.
Yes.
What they need to focus on is really tightening these stories. Either make them all merge into one, or just drop some of them off.
Yeah. Just get rid of... There are some we don't need.
Yeah.
To be honest. I'm going to meet you there and I'm going to say 4 as well. I've pretty much given every episode we've talked about a 4.
It's been a good week, though.
Yeah, true. I agree with all of those points. And it did... I would say it probably would have been a 4.5, purely because they are starting to tie some things off. But, there were just a couple of things that I didn't really like. Little Bruce, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I feel you. Anyway, let's go on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Now, my top moment for this is the Inhumans are being hunted by the Watchdogs. Now, this is the same group that Daisy has been after.
Yeah, it's finally coming together.
Yeah, all these things are coming together, which is fantastic. So basically what they are doing, they're sending off these EMPs that have stopped the technology in all the major cities. Now, this does not seem to be a bloody major thing.
No.
It's tackled very, very casually, and it's actually put into like the hands of 3 agents.
Yeah, surely it's like... Didn't they hit like 5 cities?
Yeah.
But they just... And the other thing that confused me is they send the 3 agents to one city and they figure out how to turn that city back on. How do they do the rest?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? But I don't know.
Who knows?
That was one inconsistency.
Yeah, it was weird. I felt like if all the power's going out across the cities, people will be dying. We do see people rioting and looting.
That's right.
And it's just handled very casually.
Yep.
So
Almost as a side story.
Almost as a
Yeah.
side story. But I do have to eat my words on this episode because I thought they were going to sweep this whole Inhumans kind of story under the rug. And it was literally the forefront of this episode. I couldn't believe it.
Yep, that's true. All right, so top moment number 2, Simmons kills May.
What a bitch.
Oh, I reckon. Jesus. So we find out that May is literally scaring herself to death. And that's how all of these people affected by the ghost or whatever they are, that's what's happening. They're pumping adrenaline and they're getting so scared that they die.
Yeah, we see the way they break it down is actually quite visual and quite
the
great.
brain.
Yeah, in the brain, yeah. So they have that big hologram. They kind of like zoom into the smallest part of the brain.
Like Tony Stark style.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that bit. But anyway, Simmons, speaking on that, goes to Radcliffe for help. And it's his sort of technology that they're able to pinpoint what the problem is. And they come up with this brilliant idea that if they kill May, her body clock will reset and she'll be fine when they
like
shock her back to life.
The brain will reboot and
like a computer.
And it's like that was their Hail Mary.
Yes.
It's kind of like they have what minutes left until she was like.
And the other thing too is he was like, we've got 7 minutes, like so precise. I'm not a health doctor or anything, but is that a set number?
It might be a thing, but
speaking on that,
I tell you what, this was I called it. Like I was watching this, I was like, I bet you the power goes off.
I was thinking the same thing.
And sure enough, just as they were about to use the paddles,
shock her,
power goes out.
Yep. And then Simmons starts giving her, I guess, compressions on her chest to keep her alive until Radcliffe gets the idea that, holy shit, I have something that's protected from EMPs. Let me go and grab that and plug the defibrillator in.
Yeah.
Very convenient.
Very convenient. Very TV luck.
Yeah.
His generators weren't booting back up. But I've got a question for you. Did you ever really think for a minute that May was going to die?
No.
No.
If she was going to die, they would have killed her episodes ago when she first... this has been dragged out since the season started.
Yes, it has.
I mean, how many episodes? We're only 2 episodes in or something?
Yeah, 2 or 3. No, 3.
3. So she got infected in the first episode.
Yeah.
So there was no way they were going to kill her after investing all this time in her story.
Yeah.
So no, not for a second.
The only thing that I thought was they were going to put her into a life model decoy.
Ah, okay.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because Simmons doesn't know.
Yes, exactly. Doesn't know about it at all. And Simmons is actually quite high in the organisation. And, of course, Radcliffe isn't supposed to be mucking around with that type of shit because it's a breach of his contract.
That's right.
That would have been a really awesome way to do this. And I think they missed a fantastic thing.
To introduce. Because, I guess I don't remember the name that Radcliffe has given this lady robot.
Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me. But
she's very hidden. Very hidden,
and it would have been a fantastic way. It would have been great that May was walking around in another body and they kind of had to make her up again.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
she's just back now from
just
the dead.
back. And it would have been great. She could have came back with really almost superhuman abilities.
Yeah, like cyborg arm type scenario.
Yeah. So they missed the boat for a really cool story there.
They did. Oh, well, I'm sure next week's episode there'll be some repercussions.
Yeah. Anyway, that takes us to top moment number 3. Gabe rolls into town.
You've been waiting for that.
I've been waiting. Holy crap, I've got some good ones here. So with LA going cray-cray with the riot and the looting because of the blackout from the EMPs, Gabe is getting jacked for his 22s. Literally. Who wants to steal a kid's wheelchair?
That's right.
Some thugs.
Assholes.
Yeah,
they're already looting and smashing cars. Jesus, get over yourselves.
Why do you need this kid's wheelchair, man? Just let him go. Mind you, he was mean mugging them.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, you're in a wheelchair. You just look straight and roll on.
Just keep going.
That's it. So Daisy and Ray Easy, that's what we call him here, come and save the day with some super impressive fight scenes here.
Yeah, I really like this fight scene.
What was interesting about this is that Daisy is super trained.
Yeah, so incredibly
talented with her fighting. And these guys are kind of keeping up with her.
I know. That was one thing too. And I don't know if it's because she's in a lot of pain because her arm is giving her grief or whatever. But she should have been able to nail those guys.
Well, yeah, exactly. And we actually see her use her powers in the end to save Gabe because some bloke had a knife up to his
throat,
and she essentially breaks her arm.
Trying to help him.
She needs a little gauntlet to absorb that shock.
She does.
But what we do is we kind of meet Gabe a little bit more.
Learn a bit more.
Is it just me or is Gabe a bit of a dick?
He is a bit of a dick. And like, I thought he was a bit like he put off this sort of sweet persona. Like, I'm the cool little brother. Like, I keep him in line. I keep the house in line, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then he's a massive dick to Daisy.
Yeah.
Like Daisy just saved your life, dude.
Exactly. And he's under the impression that Daisy's bad news. So
and he
he's
doesn't want Ray Easy to get into that.
He obviously doesn't know that Ray Easy is the Ghost Rider.
That's right. He doesn't. And I think when he finds that out, his perception might change a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't like the kid, and I don't know if it's because of him on Fear the Walking Dead, but I automatically had this dislike for him. But he is almost acting the same.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, and it's just like
it's just like he's been transported into a wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly.
New place.
When he died in The Walking Dead, he overtook the body of the kid in a wheelchair.
Hey, it's Ghost Rider. Anything could happen.
Yeah, that's right. The guy's a wank, and I don't like him much.
Moving on to some more Ghost Rider top moments. So top moment number 4, we get more of a fill-in on Ghost Rider's backstory. Yeah, so we learn a little bit about his Uncle Elias, who is now jailed at Southridge Penitentiary. Yes, thank you.
And he was actually an electrical engineer at the Momentum Energy Lab.
Yeah, so he's tied in with those ghost figures, which we already knew.
Which we thought that last episode, so...
Yeah, and I think Ray Easy even says he's a good man, he just did a bad thing. So I don't know what he's done, but something not good.
Yeah, so I have no doubt that, we're going to obviously see some flashbacks, learn a little bit more about old Uncle Elias here.
We will. But Robbie also got into a little bit of the nitty-gritty of what makes him Ghost Rider, I guess, explaining to Daisy that he thinks his current path is to get vengeance for his uncle. So he's gotten vengeance on the thugs that put Gabe in a wheelchair, and then he's getting vengeance for other things. And now that this Momentum Labs is coming around, he thinks he needs to get vengeance for his uncle.
Yes, that's really interesting. So his purpose for being Ghost Rider is not explained to him.
No, he just is.
Yeah, he is just Ghost Rider.
Just kicking ass, doing all of that.
Yeah, so he doesn't enjoy being Ghost Rider.
No.
So this is... I just don't see him ever losing it.
He won't. And I think we can already pick up on that for the fact that he has been doing it for quite a while and obviously has avenged a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he's still the Ghost Rider.
Well, just take it as a throwback to the episode where they kind of paint his victims on his mural.
Yeah, and there's a lot.
There's a lot of victims on there.
That's true.
So this guy, I think he's going to be stuck with it. I really hope so.
Me too. I like him.
It's a fantastic take on Ghost Rider.
Yes, agree.
Awesome. So top moment number 5, S.H.I.E.L.D. is back in the limelight. So they're back saving lives, all while getting them sweet government funding.
Yeah, everything has worked out.
Everything's squeaky clean. Everything's above board.
Yep, finally.
Everyone's got their bloody rainbow colours.
Yeah.
And everyone's getting them sweet paychecks from the government.
That's right. So... ultimately, they could have the power to do more things now because they are government funded. They got this cash to be able to buy the gadgets and do all that. So we'll see.
We will see. What do you rate this episode?
I'm going to give this one 4.5.
A 4.5?
Yeah.
Oh, you're rating that one high.
Yeah, I really like this episode. It's probably it probably could be maybe a 4.25 probably because of the whole May thing and the convenience of that, but. I did really like that we saw a little bit more into smaller characters, I guess, like Gabe and all that kind of stuff. So, dug it.
Well, I'm breaking the trend here. I'm going 3.5 on this. Ooh. Gabe's a dickhead.
He is a dickhead.
And that whole May story was as fucking cliche and predictable as the weather.
It was.
So, anyway, that will take us to The Flash. And the number one top moment is well, it's not the number one, but it's
It's
our
just
first
number one.
top moment is everyone has changed and Connor Hawke has been retconned.
Yes, indeed.
So that's pretty bloody major. So at the start of the episode, we get to see Barry just really kind of having a casual chat with Felicity about everything that's kind of changed. And he goes through, I guess, their supercomputer and just kind of like does like a quick catch up on like everything that's happened.
Yeah.
And one thing that he kind of catches while going on his, is it a hackathon, a searchathon?
Yeah, whatever he's doing.
He finds out that Diggle has a son now and not the little girl Sarah.
Yeah, so strange.
It is strange, but it's actually pretty major because basically what this means is that is Connor Hawke.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure if you watched last season of Legends of Tomorrow, but there was an episode where they went to the future and Diggle had a son who was Connor Hawke.
Right.
Who was basically the new Green Arrow. So that's an awesome throwback. So these timelines are like kind of matching up. So we can see where the future of this is going.
Yes.
And it's not going to be fantastic. So that's playing off quite well. One of the other things that we kind of learn is, everyone's a little bit different.
Slightly different.
Slightly different. But one person is pretty different. Yeah. And that's Caitlin Snow. And she's kind of hiding the fact that she has got some killer frost powers going on.
And I guess Barry even says to her, out of everybody, you're the most like you were.
Yeah.
And then you're like, lol, jokes, I've got a frozen hand.
Yeah.
She's completely different.
Completely different. So I wonder if that means she's going to turn into a villain.
I don't know. I hope not, because I really like Caitlin.
Yeah.
I think she's
very sweet, very nice.
And she sort of keeps it all a little bit grounded, I think.
She does keep it grounded, but
yeah.
She has had pretty much the most tragic story of everyone in The Flash.
Yep, since the beginning too.
Yeah.
Like she's had issues from the start.
The very first episode, her fiance died.
Guys, like Jesus Christ.
And then she falls in love with Jay Garrick, who turns out to be Hunter Zolomon. It's Zoom.
Just ruined.
Just ruined. It's like, give the girl a break.
And I guess if anyone's going to get these powers, it probably should be her.
It should be her.
All right, so that's going to take us to top moment number 2. Dr. Alchemy and the Philosopher's Stone. So it looks like we've got our big bad guy for the season so far. They can do whatever they want, bring in so many bad guys.
Yeah, so now my money is on the newcomer to the show, Julian Albert, being Dr. Alchemy.
Yeah, I think that's probably, you might be onto something there.
Now, I got a reason for this, and that's because in the comics, Dr. Alchemy had a few different origins.
Right.
So the one thing the Flash does is it kind of borrows from like Golden Age, Silver Age, everything. So they'll mix a couple of stories together to kind of make a unique approach on a character, which is really good. So they can kind of build it in a better way for TV because, as we know, not all characters from the comics work well when you bring them into real life.
Yeah, that's right.
So basically, one of the arcs includes him having a split personality, that being Albert and Alvin Desmond. So it's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing. So
it could happen. I think you're probably onto something there.
Yeah, well, so since we've got there's 3 different timelines going on here, I reckon that they're running with the multiple personalities over multiple timelines and dimensions.
Yep. Yeah, I think I probably would agree with you there. And I guess he's giving people powers. So is he he even says, I think, that he's preparing the world for something.
Yeah.
So is he wanting to converge all this stuff, or who knows?
Yeah.
And I guess on that, he's giving people powers who had powers in alternate timelines.
Exactly.
So one of the things I thought is, well, is Wally West going to get his powers?
That's the question, isn't it? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So does Wally know he had powers?
Well, I don't know, because they sort of said we don't want to know
what happened
to us in the previous in the alternate timeline. So surely they have to tell him. Like he needs to find out.
Yeah,
we can't go for the rest of the season without having Kid Flash. Like, come on.
Well, the fact that they made that suit for him.
Yeah, that's right. You're not going to use that.
Yeah, exactly. And I could imagine those suits are very, very expensive to make. They're very detailed.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt, they have to make a couple of them, of course.
Yeah.
So why would you really make those for one episode?
Yeah, agree.
So I have no doubt he's coming back.
Yes.
Talking about people that are coming back, that takes me to top moment number 3. The Rival is back.
He is.
And this guy is the most savage speedster that we've ever met.
Yep.
He really is on another level. He's not here to play the long game. He just wants the Flash gone.
Yeah, he just wants him to kill him, pretty much.
Pretty much, and just straight up. And ultimately, this leads to a very similar battle to what happened in last episode.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of Joe saving Barry, we get Cisco fully vibed up.
Yeah, and I mean, Cisco's been really a Debbie Downer this episode.
Yeah, that's one thing that we probably didn't touch on, is that the fact he wanted Barry to go back and save his brother, and he's kind of like, no, I don't do that. And he's got the mega shits because he
Barry
went back.
did that.
He went and did it. It's like, what, you can do it for yourself, but you won't do it for me?
That's right. So it was nice to see Cisco sort of, don the suit again and get out there and help Barry. And he calls Barry his friend again.
Yeah.
So I guess bridges are being mended.
Yeah,
but
splinters
slowly.
are being removed.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And he looked really cool doing it.
He did. He looked amazing. I can't wait till he gets his full outfit. He kind of only had his glasses and the gauntlets on.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to be really cool. I can see him actually teaming it up. They kind of played it off a bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he was just like, I'm a cool dude. I've just helped you.
Yeah.
But it's going to develop. I can see it. So sticking with the rival, that's going to take us to top moment number 4. The rival is murdered. Or is he? So he sort of doesn't achieve what Dr. Alchemy set him out to do. He doesn't kill the Flash. He doesn't do all of that. So we see him locked up in a cell and he gets killed, maybe?
Yeah, what we see is a hand, well, actually a gauntlet, grab him by the throat. So my money is on that is Savitar.
Yeah.
Because the character Savitar actually has gauntlets when he runs around.
Oh, okay, right. So it matches in with his sort of appearance, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. But what's the rule with TV deaths?
If you don't see them die, they didn't die.
Yeah, that's right. So, I think Savitar's here to absorb his speed force. So, but not kill him, just take his speed force, because that's what Savitar's about.
And I guess it would be a real kick in the nuts for Edward Clarence, is that his name? Because he just got it back.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I guess he comes to the realization that he didn't want anything more in life than to get his powers.
Yeah, that's
from
right.
his other dimension life.
His alternate self?
Yeah, so, that could be a punishment worse than death to him.
Probably.
And, talking about the Speed Force, that takes me to top moment number 5. Jay Garrick sets Barry straight.
He sure does.
Oh, man.
Big time.
Big time. I love this scene. There's so much good stuff in it. So basically, Barry's decided, that's it. I'm going back and I'm fixing everything again. So to create a 4th timeline, come on, Barry, what are you doing?
Please
Stop ruining the timeline, mate. So he's on his way to go change time, and Jay basically scoops him up and throws him out of the Speed Force and is just like, mate, you got to slow down. You can't just keep going back. You have to live with what you've done. Because every time you go back, you fracture
a coffee cup.
Yeah, a coffee cup. The way he explains it, every time you go back in time, you fracture time.
And you can put it back together, but it's never the same.
It's never the same. There's still got the cracks. So I thought that was a really good way of him explaining that.
It was really good.
It's like layman terms. It's like, if you keep going back and changing shit, you're going to keep cracking your cup.
That's right.
So what's the most interesting part is that there's a little throwaway line that he says that he's made all these mistakes before. So it makes you wonder, has Jay gone and done his own Flashpoint?
Yeah, and is there now more than just Barry's alternate timelines?
Yeah.
Are there even more? And then I guess that comes to, Dr. Alchemy giving people powers. Who knows?
Yeah,
There
exactly.
could be infinite timelines where everybody has powers.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly it. So, it must have been something bad, because he's almost like a bit of a drill sergeant to him. He's just straight up direct. He's like, okay, I know you've had other mentors, but I'm basically here to tell you, stop, cut the shit.
And listen.
And listen, yeah. And Barry's this is the most naive I've ever seen Barry. He's just kind of sitting there and he's rolling his eyes, oh, come on, man. I'm the Flash. I can do what I want.
Yeah, and it's not really a Barry Allen trait,
No.
I guess. He's not normally like that.
No,
That was
exactly.
interesting.
It was interesting. And I didn't like that approach from him. It's you've almost thrown away all your training and you're just being bratty now, mate.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Exactly. He was being bratty.
But did you see the Easter egg in this scene?
I did. And I loved it at the moment I saw it. Go on, tell them what it is.
Okay, so when they go into this diner, the diner is set in 1998. Mm-hmm. So we're explained that by Jay. And there's a TV in this diner. And what is on there? Nothing but Dawson's Creek. Holy shit.
Oh, I loved it. And it was so front and center too. Like the whole shot was almost just of this TV playing Dawson's Creek with Jay and Barry just off to the side a little bit.
It was amazing.
It was great.
I loved it. That had to be the highlight of the episode. That's scene of the week.
Scene of the week.
That is scene of the week.
Scene of the week. There you go.
So, big question. What do you rate the episode?
Now look, The Flash is probably my favourite thing going at the moment. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5 for many, many reasons. We meet Julian Albert, obviously. And I'm just going to say here, he looks old as fuck in this. Like Tom Felton looks super old in this character. And I don't know, I wasn't expecting that, but loved him nonetheless. Something's going to happen with him.
What about like him being in this and the Philosopher's Stone also being in this? Is there just like a whole bunch of like Harry Potter
They're going to be losing their shit. They all would have tuned in for this episode.
Oh,
no doubt.
Absolutely. I would love to see the rating score for this episode.
Me too, because Tom Felton is not a small name. Like he's a superstar.
And I have no reason that's why they've also like included the Philosopher's Stone in this episode.
Yeah, probably. But and then heaps of other things. I guess I really like the fact that Barry told everyone that he had fractured the timelines.
Yes.
Like he wasn't just lying. Nothing annoys me more than when there is this massive lie in the TV series or something. And tensions just keep building and building and building. And then finally it all spills over and everyone hates each other.
Yeah.
So I really like that they got to the point. So, 4.5.
4.5. I will agree with you on that. This was probably the episode of the week. It was really, really cool. There's not much more I can say. Next week, we meet Jesse Quick.
Yes.
My God, I am so excited.
This show just keeps giving and giving.
Oh, it's going to be so good. So, I give it 4.5. You gave it 4.5. Probably the episode of the week so far.
I agree.
That is going to take us to Arrow.
Dun, dun, dun. So straight into it. Top moment number 1, we meet the new Team Arrow in this episode. Sort of on and off, I guess, because they can't really decide if they want to be Team Arrow or if Green Arrow is just too much of a dick and they don't want to be in the team. So pretty much it sort of opens up that he gives the calling card to Mad Dog?
Wild
Dog?
Yep.
I was nearly there.
Mr. Terrific.
And what's the girl? We don't really know.
10-year-old girl.
10-year-old girl. And he sort of brings them in on a training session and is like, well, get past me, ring this bell.
Yeah.
And he nails all of them.
And what's good about that is it does. It directly relates to his flashbacks in Russia where it's kind of like teamwork's the key.
Yeah, and he's trying to get into the Bratva in the throwbacks, and it's the exact same mentality.
Yeah.
And I guess it worked for Oliver, doesn't work for these kids.
No, not at all. So basically, he really lays everyone out, and
it's not really confidence boosting.
It's not really confidence boosting. So I guess the next thing he tries is, he tries to give him some on-the-job training, and they fail big time with that as well.
Yep.
Which kind of leads to my top moment number 2, which is enter Ragman. And this guy is just straight up badass.
So cool.
He is so cool. And when he came in, I wasn't quite sure if, is this guy, good? Is he bad?
Yeah, no, I saw that too because Felicity sort of, I think, shows Oliver a bit of a video shot of Ragman.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I thought it was going to be who the team was going after that episode, but it didn't really turn out that way.
Yeah, it didn't turn out that way. So it's interesting that they got this mystical character going on, and we learned that I guess his outfit, the rags, 2,000 years old. So they kind of just pass on through generation. Now I don't know if they actually say they're 2,000 years old, but I just remember that from comics.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and I think the backstory to it is he, in the end, when he sort of reveals himself to the Green Arrow, which I found a little bit weird. That he already is, taken off his mask. And anyway, aside of that, he sort of says that his dad dressed him in the rags in, what was it, the genocide?
In Genesis.
Genesis, that's right. And they saved him from the fire.
Yeah.
So,
And another interesting thing about this character is just all types of interesting, to tell you
great.
the truth, is that he seems to have a very similar arc to what Oliver did. And they basically, like you said, they all decide to team up. So I'm really digging this character. He's mystical, he's badass, and he's turning out to be the most interesting thing we have seen on Arrow in a long time.
Yeah, and I agree with that because normally, Arrow is the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different
Yep.
baddie, but same thing happens.
Yeah.
Whereas he's sort of thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works.
Yeah,
And I like that.
exactly. And it's good that we're not getting super mystical, I guess, elements to the show, but we've got one that can help out.
Like a complex character who is on our side, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not trying to fight someone who has a bloody totem or, just something stupid.
That like mere mortals would not be able to go up against.
That's exactly it.
That's right. All right. So top moment number 3, Diggle gets framed. What the hell?
Oh, man, Diggle, man. This is what happens when you turn your back on Team Arrow.
And I guess talking about teams not working together, Diggle is betrayed by his military team.
I was not expecting that.
Not at all. So pretty much his military team, is stealing one of the Genesis devices. And I don't really know how this is going to help Diggle or play out for Diggle.
Yeah, it's interesting. And what I find interesting is that they have a Genesis device.
Yeah, how?
Were these things mass produced?
Yeah.
I
And
honestly,
they're just conveniently more convenient?
yeah.
Or...
How does Diggle feel about that? Like he walks and he's like, "Oh, fuck off! You have one of them."
What's going on?
Yeah. It's not looking good for him.
No, and I guess we see him, the big commander guy who's obviously in charge of all of this terrible stuff that's happening, who wants to frame it on Diggle. He uses Diggle's gun to shoot another member of the team.
Yeah, another officer.
And has a confession written up that is to be from Diggle, which he's going to get Diggle's signature. I don't know how, but he's going to frame Diggle for everything. And I really I don't know if this means that Diggle will now be kicked out of the military and we'll see him back in the Arrow team.
Yeah, like a dishonorable discharge.
Yeah, I mean, he killed he's framed to have killed someone.
And I mean, all these people will obviously testify against him.
That's right.
I mean, he hasn't really got a leg to stand on.
No, but then I don't know if he will ask Oliver and Felicity for help on that, because obviously Felicity would probably be the best in that space with the hacking skills and all that kind of stuff to help Diggle, but they can't help if they don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't really know.
Sticky situation for Diggle at the moment. And that's going to take me to top moment number 4. Prometheus is boss.
Super boss.
He is super boss, man. This guy is proving to be an absolute boss without spending any time on the screen.
Yeah, I think we've seen him. This is the second time we've seen him.
Second time, and I bet you he's been on screen for under than a minute, 2 minutes max.
Probably. I'd say you're probably right.
And he is just stamping authority all over the place. He takes down Tobias Church with little to no effort.
Yeah.
Just absolutely slams him. And Tobias Church doesn't look like a small man.
No, not at all. And I guess Tobias Church has gone up against the Green Arrow, and they both he walked away.
Yeah.
So now he's just been laid out by Prometheus. So
he is taken named, man.
He is.
So basically, he says to Tobias, "You're my bitch."
Yeah.
Like in layman's terms.
Yeah. I am the boss.
Yeah. Do not kill the Green Arrow, otherwise you are dead.
Yeah. And I don't really know where it's going, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting me.
It's going to play off well. So what do you rate this episode?
I'm going to give this one... I'm probably going to put it on par with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so probably a 4.25.
Really?
Yeah, I liked this episode because I have a lot of beef with Arrow in terms of all of the seasons that I've seen before, and I thought that this episode stepped away from the normal theme of Arrow. Blah, Oliver, Felicity, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But and there was more side story. I guess some shows we have too many side stories, but this one I thought really aided this episode.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm going to give this maybe 3.5.
Mm-hmm. So on par with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, 4. I'm giving it 4. It has Ragman, and he just killed it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the side stories are much more complex.
They're more relevant.
But they're good.
Yeah. They're pretty relevant to the story. I'm really excited that this will be the last season of flashbacks.
Yeah.
So,
they get me.
Yeah, they get me.
Ugh.
I can't get into them. They're not for me.
No.
So
neither.
Anyway, last season of them. Give the episode a 4.
Mm-hmm.
That will take us to Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. So top moment number 1, we meet Nate Haywood, who is Citizen Steel from the comics.
Yeah, that was like a little sneaky, like just pushed in there.
Because he sort of was the opening of the episode.
He
Like, bam,
was.
here I am, this historian who is going to help you guys.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Citizen Steel is basically DC's version of Colossus. So, except he can't feel anything.
It has no sense of touch.
Yeah, so he's kind of like in this isolated world of like nothingness, which would be like pretty lonely.
Oh yeah,
You know, you can't feel anything. You couldn't pat a dog.
No, my
shit.
life would be the worst.
Yeah.
That would suck. But yeah, pretty much in this episode we meet him, and like we were saying, he just sort of busts into Oliver's office, who is sort of crossed over into this Legends episode. And he sort of lays the episode out for us. He sort of tells us what's happening, and he's noticing differences in history. So something's not right. And he knows that Oliver is the Green Arrow.
Yeah, and Oliver's just like, what the fuck,
Yeah,
mate?
excuse me?
Yeah,
Right.
get out of here kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
That was good. It was a good little twist. And that kind of will lead on to top moment number 2, where the team are time cops and they're keeping history in check.
Yeah.
So with him there, we get a good little montage of what's kind of been happening in the last 6 months. You know, they're stopping time criminals from messing up the timeline. Barry, you're bloody on notice, mate.
Yeah, I reckon.
Like, seriously, how is he not like getting like handbrake?
I actually thought about that, because obviously that's going to cause a major disturbance.
Yes.
He's creating a whole other world.
Now, this is, oh my God, this really messes with the mind. Like, you got Barry, who's got 3 timelines going on.
Yeah.
You've got the Legends of Tomorrow going around doing different things with the timeline, like correcting it. Like, where does it end?
Well, and maybe that's where this crossover is going to happen.
Yeah.
We need it all to come to a head.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so. So basically, you know, they're out there stopping these time criminals, and they find out that the atomic explosion in New York happens, and they decide to interfere, even though our man has told them to not go back there. And I know people will be like confused, like, when did our man ever tell you this? That happened at the end of the last season. So he says, "You're the Legends of Tomorrow. I need to talk to you," and
that's what he says.
That's what he says to him.
Yeah. And I guess they go back anyway.
They go back.
They don't heed
They're
his
reckless.
warning. Yeah, they just do what they want.
Reckless.
So they want to stop. And I guess the big thing for me is they want to stop this from happening, but ultimately the history doesn't change, I guess. We still see the war won by
the Nazis.
Yeah. And then, you know, the atomic bomb goes off. It's just not America dropping the bomb or whatever.
Well, and the big keynote for this episode is that they released the atomic bomb 2 years before the United States did.
That's right. And then I guess they make Albert Einstein sort of change the timeline, change history anyway. So I'm really confused as to why they thought it was necessary when things sort of worked out in the end. So, I don't know. They should have heeded the warning, is what I think. But anyway, moving on to that. So top moment number 3. Sarah Lance is wanting vengeance. And holy God, can she stop? Like, she's just driving me mental.
Oh.
So she's wanting revenge on Damien Dark after he has killed Laurel, pretty much. And she thinks that if she kills him in the past, that means he doesn't kill her in the future. So we would see Laurel return, I guess, which would just be a whole nother level of crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't comprehend.
Yeah.
Wouldn't deal.
Yeah. These timelines, man, they can get really, really sticky, hey?
Yeah.
Like, because all these shows are interconnected.
That's right.
I definitely see that they do not...
Don't bring her back.
Yeah, they do not bring her back.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
She'll come back in a flashback, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I guess through this vengeance that Sarah has, we kind of learn that Damien Darhk is involved with this atomic bomb and the Nazis and all that kind of stuff. So, there's a big showdown and all of that, and she's not really listening to the rest of the team. She's just focusing on getting him.
Yeah, she's going rogue a bit.
Yeah.
And it's, it's really lucky that the Atom followed her.
Yeah, that's right. I love him.
He's great.
I love
Ray
him.
Palmer, he's a bloody legend.
He is. He just...
No pun intended.
You are so full of them today.
I don't mean to be.
And I guess another thing to point out here is we see they kidnap, ultimately. The legends take Einstein, but Damien Darhk gets his ex-wife, who is actually as smart as Einstein.
Yeah. So they play it off. Both of them built the bomb together.
That's right. So they still get their bomb and they still release it and all of that kind of stuff.
What I thought was kind of fun about Einstein here is that they play him off to be like a total douchebag.
Yeah, like a ladies' man.
Yeah. He's like grabs a woman on the ass, gets slapped, and he's like, "Oh, I was just simply demonstrating that for every action there's a reaction."
Yeah, I really liked him actually.
So did I. And what I really liked was Professor Stein, just fangirling about him. Oh
God, he was so in love.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, my name's Professor Stein,"
like
Einstein.
Yeah. So
it's like,
cute.
mate, you're reaching. Anyway, that will take us to top moment number 4. The team gets back together. So with Rick actually scattering the team throughout time, we get a fun little montage of how everyone's rescued.
Yeah.
So, you got Ray Palmer. He's being chased by dinosaurs.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. By the way, that was the worst beard I've ever seen.
It was 100% fake.
It's
and a wig.
Yeah, it was just come on, guys. What's the budget? $20?
Just gone to Singapore, Charlie.
Yeah, something like that, like a $2 shop to get the props for that one. We see Sarah is being burnt at the stake for being a witch and I guess sleeping with all the women in the town.
Right.
And the Firestorm duo saved from being beheaded in the medieval times.
Yeah, and I guess it sort of brings everyone back together, like we were saying, after they sort of intercept the atomic bomb.
Yes.
And get scattered, and now they're all one happy family again.
Yeah, and those are really fun little throwbacks, especially the Firestorm where he's look into my magic mirror and he's just got his phone on selfie mode.
Yeah. No, I'm bored of you now.
It would have been great if that had Snapchat on it and they were doing
the dog filter.
Yeah.
They should have done that. But yeah, so the team's back together now, which is good.
Yeah.
And then that's going to bring us to top moment number 5, which is Enter the Justice Society of America and Legion of Doom.
Oh, man. I got so many flashbacks to classic Smallville here.
Yeah, I loved it. This is my favourite scene.
Yeah.
So good.
So damn good. We got to meet Stargirl, Dr. Midnight, Owlman, Obsidian, and a young Vixen.
Yeah.
So what's evident here is that Vixen's, I guess, powers must get passed on throughout generation to generation. Because we're in the 1940s?
Yes, 1942
to be exact.
Yeah.
And we also meet Commander Steel. Now, here's another fun little fact.
Right.
Commander Steel is, in fact, the grandfather of Nate Haywood.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. Some history for you.
Some history for you. And we also get the first glimpse at the Legion of Doom with Damien Darhk and Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Who just comes in and just annihilates everyone in the sub.
Yeah, all the Nazis. They're all gone.
All done.
Yeah.
Done.
And I guess it ties really well with where the Flash is at the moment.
Yeah.
So that crossover is going to happen soon. I can feel it.
Yeah, that's what the 4-night crossover has to be. And we also, in case you didn't know, there's 2 other members on the Legion of Doom. That is Malcolm Merlin and Captain Cold.
Oh, damn.
And now Captain Cold, he wasn't never really that evil.
No, he wasn't.
But from everything that I've heard, is that with Barry changing the timeline, it turns him into this real sadistic prick.
Damn it, because I really like him.
He was good.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, if he comes back, that'll be good. He'll just be evil.
He'll be evil, yeah. So what do you rate this episode?
Oh, it's really hard. I feel like all of the episodes this week were super consistent with one another.
Yeah.
They were all really good, so I'm finding it hard to rate them differently than a 4.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to. I mean, this just means it's good TV at the moment, and you need to bathe in the quality because there's going to be some filler shit episodes coming up soon.
Yeah, true. So I might give this a 4.5.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I really like. This was on point with the Flashpoint, for me, purely because we got to see, the Justice Society of America, and we got to see all of that happening, and just bringing everyone back in. There were some sort of blah moments for me, but so maybe I'll give it a 4. I don't know, but it was great regardless.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to give this a 4.5.
Nice.
It's just great. I thought it was a really good episode. What I liked most about it is that they've got rid of Rip Hunter.
Yes.
Who was a real drag in the first season of Legends of Tomorrow. I love the fact that we're getting Legion of Doom, and I fucking creamed my pants over the fact that we've got the Justice Society of America now.
When they flew in and be like, hey, we need to talk to you, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? This is the best.
I'm done. I'm bloody done.
And then I was waiting for more to show, and then the episode ended, and I was like, no, God damn it.
But yeah.
Super good.
Super good. So for Comic of the Week, I'm actually suggesting a movie. With Flash back on our TV screens and covering the infamous, or I guess it's not infamous, but famous Flashpoint storyline, I really recommend checking out the DC animated movie Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Now, I've actually been trying to sneak this in since we've started doing this podcast. And Troy's just been roadblocking me here, there, everywhere. He's like, oh, what should we talk about? I'm like, Flashpoint. He's like, you and your fucking Flashpoint. So here it is. Troy's gone, and now's my chance. So in altering the timeline for the superheroes, the Flash creates ripples that basically wrecks the universe.
Yep.
And the Flash must team up with Cyborg and a very different Batman to restore the timeline while the Earth is getting ravaged by a war between Aquaman's Atlanteans and Wonder Woman's Amazons.
Holy damn.
Holy damn, right? And basically, this movie is actually available on Australian Netflix.
Get out.
Get out.
I'm
indeed.
watching that when I get home.
Yeah, it's so good. You'll love it. And it's a great way to fill in the blanks that you may have when it comes to the Flashpoint on The Flash.
Oh, that's great. What a great piece.
It is.
I'm really going to watch that. But I guess that's going to do it for another episode from us. So stay tuned for next week's episode where we break down the rest of the news on Luke Cage, I guess, the last remaining episode.
Yeah. That will be the final, the run home on that.
Yeah.
That's going to work out quite good because The Walking Dead comes back.
That's right. And of course, we'll still bring you all of our top moments from the regular bunch of TV shows we've chatted about today. They are back in full force.
They are back in full force. We are going to be flat chat again.
Oh, yeah.
This was a big episode. Next week's going to be just as big.
Yep.
I want to thank the listeners, subscribers, and reviewers. You guys really help the show grow.
That's right.
If you tell a friend, that helps us too.
Yeah, tag them and stuff.
Yeah.
People love being tagged and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, tag them and stuff on Facebook.
Facebook.
You can find us on Facebook at Comic Confidential.
Hashtag segue.
Hashtag segue. Also, we're on Instagram and Twitter. That's at Comic Con Pod. We've also got a YouTube if you want to listen to us on YouTube. You don't have to, but if you want to jump on there, you can subscribe.
Yep.
We're actually going to start doing some videos soon-ish.
When we finish watching all these TV shows.
Yeah, when do you have the time? We also have a Snapchat that Amy's in charge of.
Yes, I am.
I've heard she's been dropping the ball, guys.
Yeah, sorry, team. There's so many things to watch and take notes on. I should just have my phone there and you'll just get Snapchats of me as a dog watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to boil down to.
Fantastic. Do Snapchats of the dog filter on your dog.
Yeah.
That would be
you
awesome.
guys, I have the cutest dog. You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
You can also find us at comicconpod.com where you can also view listen to the other show on our network. That's The Advisory. Check them out. They had a shorter episode this week, but it's bloody fantastic. It's probably one of their best if you ask me.
Oh, nice.
And if you want to support the show, you can jump onto our Patreon. That's patreon.com/ComicConPod. Get yourself some perks. We've got a really cheap one going on at the moment. It's $1.
Nice. Wait, $1's nothing.
$1. If that fell out of your pocket, would you even bloody notice?
Nah.
Either
I've
would
done
I.
it before, and then I'm like, fuck, where's my $1?
Yeah,
oh, well.
Yeah. Well, then you did notice. Bloody hell, Amy.
Sorry.
But who actually carries cash these days?
No, well, I don't.
Yeah. I don't even have a wallet anymore.
It's just your card coming out.
It's just my card, yeah. That's how I do it. I just fly recklessly.
Oh, you rebel.
And if you want to get yourself some cool Loot Crate stuff, we've got a link for that too.
Yep, we do. We do.
That will be in the show notes. So that's it for another week.
It is. Done. Done and dusted.
Bloody big episode. So thanks for listening. As always, I'm Kade.
And I'm Amy.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
See yous.
Cheers.
Nailed it.
I thought you were going to say peace.
I was, but then, I feel sad because Troy will be like, my piece. My piece.